Hello everyone, my name is Taylor Ray. I'm the owner of Ray Social Studio, a social media and digital marketing agency for fashion, retail, and lifestyle brands. Today I am going to share tips and tricks on how to become a social media marketer. There is a lot that encompasses this job and a lot that you're going to have in your tool belt, but I thought I would break down a few of my favorite tips that I've learned throughout my past probably 6 or 7 years of being in this field that I could share with you, so that if you are someone who is interested getting into the digital marketing space, getting into the social media space, building clients, and starting your own business just like I did, it'll give you actionable steps on where to start. So the very first thing that I want to cover with you guys is, what is a social media marketer? I wrote down a definition and I want to get it perfect, so don't mind me, I'm going to read this off my iPad. But I said, to put it into simple terms, a social media marketer, sometimes you'll see it abbreviated as SMM, is the person who is in charge of creating content and constructing a strategy for a brand, managing their platform and engaging with their audience on behalf of the brand. So that kind of gives you a bird's eye view of what a social media marketer does. We're gonna get into the nitty-gritty, I promise you, but just so that you can kind of have a definition and something to refer back to when moving through this video. So the first thing that I tell people to do when they want to get into the social media and digital marketing realm is to find your niche. And I'm not meaning niche as in like a platform, like you're not just gonna specialize in Pinterest. But when I mean niche, what vertical do you want to work in? So this is a great place for you to kind of blend your two passions. My passions were in like fashion and design, and my other passion was in marketing and helping small businesses. So that's kind of where I came to this conclusion of who I wanted to be as a business. If you're super into automotive, you can start getting into the automotive vertical, working with car shops and custom car detailers and people who sell cars, car dealerships, anything like that, which I think I already said, whatever. Real estate is another great one. Realtors could use a ton of help in social media. There's so many realtors, you can find them in any sort of city, but really finding what you're passionate about and maximizing your niche in that specific area. One, it will help you figure out what kind of content you need to provide on your own social media and website platforms to draw that customer in, because a social media platform, a social media website that is devoted to fashion is going to look a lot different than one that's devoted to the automotive industry. So it'll help you kind of navigate where you want your branding, your personal branding, and your branding for your business to go when creating your business's Instagram and Facebook pages and maybe videos and content and so on and so forth. The next biggest thing that you're gonna have to tackle, and this was the hardest for me, and it's definitely a learn as you go kind of career, but you need to educate yourself. Social media touches every aspect of a business. It needs to coincide with what's going on in email and online advertising and traditional advertising and things that are going on in store and, photography and graphics, and it literally touches every aspect of a business, or it should. I could not tell you how often I hear people saying, oh my gosh, I would love to do what you do. It seems so easy. Like, one, super offended by that. Two, you have no idea. So I'm going to run through a little list of things that I have in my wheelhouse that have been super helpful. And again, not all of these came to me at one time. It's definitely something that I've learned through and grown through and have picked up along the way. So let's go through that list. The first thing is, you are going to need to know how to be an analytical thinker. I am by nature am very creative, and this took a lot of learning on my part because numbers are not my jam. I'm dyslexic. Numbers are not my jam, but it's a huge part of running your business. So being able to dive into social analytics and Google Analytics and seeing how people are performing on the website and off the website and tracking metrics that way, so that you can provide really solid analytics for your clients. So it's like, hey, the work that I'm doing for you is really worth it, because look at how many, look at our conversion value, look at how many engaged people we've had this month, etc. You're going to need to know how to be an analytical thinker and how to strategize and look at those numbers and see what to do moving forward in the coming months. Next is photography. I'm not saying you have to be a crazy great photographer, and this is something that could be super easily contracted out, but you're gonna need to have an eye for things like this. Whether you're contracting it out or you're doing it yourself, you're gonna need to have an eye for what's appealing to a customer or to a consumer. Having photography skills in your wheelhouse is huge, even if it's just with your iPhone. but knowing how to take a beautiful picture will not only add more value to you for your clients, but will also help you grow your business in the long run, because if it's something that you can do and you have time to do, why not do it instead of spending the money to contract it out? Copywriting is the next one. Again, I'm dyslexic, so this is a challenging one for me. I have come to the realization that I need to read things 6 times before I hit send or before I hit post, because it's a struggle of mine. Also, investing in platforms like Grammarly so that I know that everything that I'm going to send out sounds professional and I can make sure that I'm holding up my end of the bargain when it comes to creating engaging content. The next thing is graphic design. This is, again, something that you don't have to be like a master at Illustrator or Photoshop in order to do, but again, you need to have a trained eye for it. Even if it doesn't come natural to you, it's something that you're gonna have to learn. So finding inspiration on Pinterest and using it as, again, inspiration, don't replicate, don't steal, but using it as inspiration. Use Canva, which is great. It's got a ton of pre-made layouts. They have a free version that you can use, and so you can make little graphics for Instagram stories and for in-feed posts and things like that. It's gonna, again, be very handy if you know how to do it yourself, so you don't have to contract somebody else out to do it. This is a huge one that I feel like a lot of people who are wanting to get into the field have a tendency to miss, but Facebook and Instagram and Pinterest and YouTube advertising. It is a big beast to tackle, and it can be very stressful because you're dealing with people's actual money. So what I suggest is diving into as many platforms as you can to learn how to do advertising, whether you use YouTube, Skillshare, go to conferences, utilize anything and everything, because the more knowledge you have, the better off you'll be. The second thing that I would say is you're gonna have to invest a little bit of your own money to learn from those mistakes. So finding out what metrics to look for, finding out, what certain content works well on different advertising platforms is all gonna be really beneficial to you, and the best place to start is with your own business. So maybe dedicate, even if you only have $50 a month, dedicate that money to really learning the background of the platform before you start using it and offering it as a service is what I meant to say. The next thing that I think is amazing to have in your wheelhouse is email marketing. Email marketing, there's definitely an art to it, and there's a ton of platforms that you can use. I'll list some of my favorite ones that I use for clients below. But email marketing, knowing how to draft an email, knowing about a sequence and a schedule so that your audience, your email audience is engaged, but also that they don't trickle off if you're sending too many. Things about, how you lay out and how many click-throughs or how many calls to action to put in your email are all super important. Again, this is a great place to start in your business before you offer it to somebody else. The other thing is, how do you get people to sign up for your email list? What offer are you going to give them? Are you just going to give them a 20% off code for one of your clients? Are you going to provide them with a piece of content, and knowing how to structure that? Also, how do you structure email flows? What does an abandoned cart email look like? If someone hasn't visited your site in 100 days, what can we send them to incentivize them to come back? All these things are super important when it comes to email marketing and how to service your customers. So again, start with yourself, start with your business, start building these email flows so that you can provide that service for your client. The next thing that you should have in your wheelhouse is website design and functionality. The designing, starting a website from fresh is not something that I do often at all, but I did build my own website, so I have a little bit of credibility. But knowing how the back ends of things like Shopify and Squarespace work is going to be really helpful when you are working on clients. Sometimes they're going to need your help with setting up their Facebook and their shopping, their Facebook shopping and Instagram shopping on their website, or switching out some headlines, or just tweaking a few things on the website. They might rely on you to do that. And again, it's another thing that you can add in your bucket of services, saying like, hey, I can, help you upload, your new fall products that are coming in. It's something that you can add to your services that will add a little bit more money in your pocket, but also be really beneficial to your client, because it's like, hey, she or he is a one-stop shop for all of this. Google pay-per-click ads is the next one that I want to hit on. This, again, is a little scary. It's probably scarier than Facebook and Instagram advertising because Google is just such a massive beast to tackle. And there's so many different ways that you can use Google pay-per-click advertising. Again, take classes on it. use it for yourself in your business, dedicate a little bit of funds to it just to be able to play around with it before you invest other people's money in it. But it's going to be a great way for them to gain exposure to their website. It's a totally different client base than what's on Facebook and Instagram. They act differently on your webpage and that kind of stuff. Hopefully I'll have a future video that kind of breaks down metrics to look at and how to set up all these campaigns, but it's definitely something that I would start to get comfortable with now. So the very last thing that I want to talk about is SEO, search engine optimization. I will make an entire other video about this, just going through like small actionable steps that you can use to start building your SEO now. Again, I don't know how to code, so it's not going to be super, it's not going to be like the most amazing SEO experience someone could purchase from me. But knowing little tips and tricks on how to boost their organic growth within their website is going to be super helpful. Again, another thing to add to your tool belt, another thing you can speak to when you're like looking at their Google Analytics and their organic reach is dropping, their organic audience is dropping. It's something that you can speak to. Again, if you are just getting started in this social media digital marketing world, all of these things I'm saying might seem like a little out of reach. And again, I've been in the game for about 6-7 years now, so I have a lot in my tool belt that is still obviously continuing to grow, but I'm gonna list a bunch of resources that I use down below so that you guys can use them to kind of, you know, learn these things and provide that content for your client. Okay, the next thing that we're gonna need to tackle is, where do you find your clients? This is a tough one, especially when you are first starting out, because you need to build credibility as a brand in order to have something for your future clients to look at and to judge you on, pretty much. So I was super lucky when I first started out. I was already running a boutique with my sister, so I got to use that as a little bit of leverage for this business, and I had a pretty good following on Instagram to start with, so I would just send people to that page and say like, hey, I'm doing it for myself, why can't I do it for you? Probably not the best way to go around it, but it worked in the beginning. The other thing is, like, you cannot be afraid to just put yourself out there. When first starting out, build yourself a little pitch deck, even if they're kind of like imaginary clients. I wouldn't tell people that they're real clients, but like, build a little pitch deck of something that you could see how you would brand something, and build a fake website for a client, or you know, strategize a social media calendar and just say, like, obviously be transparent with them and say, this is not for an actual client, but this is something like I would provide to you on a monthly basis. So do not be afraid to go out there and put yourself out there. Blind email people that you know, stores that you see when you're walking down the street, or a new you know, realtor that just popped up on Instagram and saying, these are the services that I offer. I would love to be part of your team and genuinely help you. The very last piece of information I'm going to go through with you guys today is scheduling your time. This is so important because normally when people start in the social media digital marketing space, it's a side hustle for them. It was for me. I started picking up clients when I was a junior in college. I had my store with my sister for a little over a year by then. I was a full-time student getting a fine arts degree, and this random guy reached out to me on LinkedIn and was like, I love what you're doing for your store. Do you do freelance work? And I was like, Gary, let's make this work. So it totally started as a side hustle for me, and I spent way more time than actually was needed on building these people's social media and building their reputation online. So I have found a lot of tools that have made it really, really easy for me to kind of maximize my time. Things like Sprout Social and Honeybook have immensely helped my business, and I'm able to do a lot of stuff that used to take me 6 hours to do, I can cut down in 2. So I will again leave all of those links down below so that you guys can browse through them and search through them and see if it's something that you're going to want to invest in. Again, it can get kind of pricey at times, but I promise you that they're worth it, because the amount of time that it saves you, you guys can be picking up other clients or working on side projects, and you'll have a lot of time freed up. Alright guys, that is it for this video. I hope you learned a little something more about social media and digital marketing, and if you're wanting to get into the industry, I really hope this helped you. Again, I will be expanding upon this as we go, but I just wanted to give out a little teaser and some little actionable steps that you can start now before I start diving into different content and getting really granular with all that stuff. So again, I hope you love this. Please let me know if there's anything else that you want to see from me. I'm going to throw a little plug in there. Feel free to subscribe and like and share this with your friends. I am starting out this platform brand new, so I hope to grow it and help more individuals like yourself. So I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day and stay awesome.